Well, part of the restoration of the grounds, we're obviously putting the grounds back to how they would have looked, but there's no real point in restoring Darwin's garden without restoring some of the experiments as well. And Darwin really used the garden as his outdoor laboratory, so it was used as his sort of proving ground, as it were. We've got a sort of range of experiments and observations, as it were. So we've got a couple of very, very specific ones just outside the house. There's the weed experiment and the lawn experiment. They're both to do with the struggle for existence. They both appear in The Origin of Species. In one, Darwin looked at how seedlings struggled to grow from seeds right the way through to adult plants. So, you know, they're being constantly eaten by slugs and snails and bad weather and this sort of stuff. And every time a seedling germinated, he'd put a small piece of wire next to it. Roughly once a month, he'd look over the plot and count up all those pieces of wire that no longer had a seedling next to them. When he finished in August of 1857, he had 357 seedlings germinate, 295 of them died. The lawn experiment is very similar, but it's more to do with established plants. He had a scruffy little plot at first, but he left it for 3 years, and in 1858 he had another look at it, counted it up again, and found that he only had 11 species. So he'd lost 9 species of plants, and it was the delicate things that had gone, and the vigorous grasses and buttercups and things like that had come to the fore and taken over. It's this sort of pressure on existence all the time. It's a real struggle going on everywhere. We have collections of orchids, carnivorous plants, climbing plants, things like that to try and represent Darwin's work on his later books. And as far as all the archive evidence goes, it's pointed us this way, and we've got about 60% of the trees that Darwin actually notes as well. So these are all Darwin choices. So it's really a sort of whole amalgamation of little bits and pieces like that hopefully give people the idea that this is a bit more of a scientific garden.